Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you could click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicking off the morning, cutting Panther's old rotors. Man, thing is barely cutting any. It was cutting more while it was closer to the center, but it's just grazing them now, working its way out. Let's see where we are. Slowing down. This is the second pass because it didn't get the end. Hopefully it gets the end this time. There it is, folks. Gonna load the other one. You can measure the thickness, make sure it's still within specs of your manufacturer.
Take a look. Stop the machine. So you took the groove of the very edge, remember that, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a final cut, which is gonna be just 1/1000 of an inch.
1/1000 off each side?
Right. So we'll put it on a slow speed and then the 1000. So this 0 out, release the lock, 1000 in. So now I'm going to 0 this out, release the lock, 1000 in. Adjust the set screw. And we're going to go slow cut. Slow cut's going to be a slowly moving. The handle is rotating, so it's moving outward. So it's going to be clean cut.
Clean cut. Not that coarse cut. See the wheel turning here.
silencer belt, we can put it on. But it's fine. I usually silence it with brake pads.
They have kids that watch videos like this. Millions beautiful men. They just watch minute stuff.
Oh, your folks. Oh, you're great folks. Of course thing and go clean up the surface. Why I do that? Get rid of the shavings off of it. Those shavings do embed in the brake pad, so it turns noisy. At one point, one of the larger corporations was suggesting to wash the brake rotors with soap and water to get rid of the shavings. Larger brake pad manufacturers. Look at that. A little bit of a clean up. Clean up the surfaces. Clean out.
Do the inner edge and then do the outer edge. And then do the whole thing.
That's a lot of work. Because we set it in the hub in the center. We moved it a few times to see if we could catch the true spot. And it still worked. It is work. This worked like
so you take it.
I'm just going to take 2000s this time because I don't want to bang it on the cutter. You got fast cut?
Okay. And that's fast, the other way slow?
Right.
Fast cut. Fast cut, when it's done, it feels gritty. Slow cut, when it's done, it feels smoother.
I think it's really that's the minute warpage.
Yeah, it is. But when my suspension and everything is so tight, I can still feel that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Interferes with my racing. So the fact that it was easier to cut the inside, harder to cut the outside, the pads were pivoted.
Yep. It's not sitting straight.
Is that because of the design of the caliper? The flaw?
Maybe loose rubber, maybe a rubber part is worn out, so the caliper gets sideways. Right. It's a good idea.
So this caliper is a single piston caliper. It doesn't have pistons on both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
So the rubber part on the outside may be old, worn out, and that will put the caliper sideways. It puts the pad sideways.
Okay.
We try to adjust it. See?
Yeah. That metal dust coming off there is good for iron.
Iron intake.
Yeah, iron intake.
That's it. In the virgin format.
That's right. The best form of iron. Then you don't need to take that supplement.
No,
Vitamin.
just a cast iron intake. You're good.
Okay, there we go.
No, you should wear some sort of a mask.
My 3M.
We've all been wearing masks for so long. We're done with masks. So I'm gonna take 3,000s here now.
Really? You gonna go all the way 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to get rid of that little bumpy stuff.
Okay, that rust.
In the back here, I'll do 2. Okay, tighten up. Tighten the release. Let's go.
And we're off. Fast cut again?
Yep.
Then the last cut will be 1,000 slow cut?
Yep.
All right.
Collecting iron for
vitamin.
somebody that likes it. Do it with a spoon, you know.
Sprinkle it on your eggs.
Don't eat it.
Slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. Those chips are hot.
Yeah, I feel it. Is that rotor hot?
No, it's all good in the chip. Getting rid of that rusty spot, cleaning it up.
So when they ship them to me, what kind of oil is on it?
This is kind of a cosmoline oil protection.
It burns right off, so it don't look rusty.
No, I would clean it off. I would take the hot water and soap and try to wash it off.
Or brake parts cleaner?
Yes, and
It's kind of like an acetone, right?
kind of or some kind of a gasoline. Just wash that's covering it because it does get in bed in the brake pad.
Yeah, I keep gasoline in my pocket instead of mace.
Good idea. I do the same thing. So we're gonna go 1,000. Usually zero it out. We go to 1,000 in. And we're gonna go slow cut, Robert. That's it. That's the final cut.
All right, I'm gonna go take the rotors off my car.
There you go.
I guess I could do it at the next stop, but I'll do it now. Nothing else to do. I have slight warpage in the rotors here on Panther. I feel it mainly when the car is loaded down and heavy and I come to a stop, kind of a harder stop. And these, we're gonna turn these too. He said the limits of them for cutting them should be on the edge. So let's go inside, clean the edge off, see if we can find the limits and put a caliper on them, make sure they're within spec before we go taking these off and putting those on. One I just took off has a 1199. I'm not sure if that's the date. Let's get a part number. Minimum thickness 23.0 millimeters. Need to get a caliper and measure these ones I just cut. Now I am cutting the rotors that was on the car. Doesn't look like this outside's cutting, but the inside's buzzing along a little bit. See how this rolls. We got a 240 here. I used to like those wheels, man. Those wheels came on the 262C bird tones. Man, headlights, corner lights make old cars look fresh, almost new. This thing is getting ready to hit the market. Got the marker lights on. Getting ready to get a windshield trim put on there. Coming together nicely. Look at that. Ain't missing any trim pieces or nothing. Look like you got to do a little alignment on the trunk. But hey, 240s are nice. Whoo-wee, look at them door panels. New speakers. He has those here at Swedish Car Parts. Somebody custom made some wood for this thing, man. This is Maserati material here. However, the stereos are fastly fading away. So you got to put newer Bluetooth, upgraded, modernized, remote control stereos in them. Other than that, these things are timepieces. Look at that hand crank sunroof. A lot of cars still don't have sunroofs in them. Yep, fully functional. 244. Look at them seats. Brand new seat skins and cushions. Ooh, put a little bit of effort in that door close. Not much. New car doors just don't close like this, man. That back seat. 3-point seat belts. Let me go find out what year this is. It has a clip for the shades. Nice. New exhaust. Before you get started, I got the rotor set. I loosen these. I crank them out with this. Pull them back in. Make sure they're loose. Then I turn these in until both sides touch. Then I snug these down. Then I hold the outside, zero out this so I can see where my reference starting point is, and that way I know how much I'll cut. So you could turn this. Now I'm going to snug these down and go ahead and cut the machine on. So I'm going to run the machine out, cut out the outer lip, and then run it in, cut off the inner lip, and then I'll set this to 2 thousandths and do a quick run, see if I cut both sides. And if so, then I'll go for 1 thousandths, do my final cut. So I'm going to take 2 off both sides. So here I'm running it out. Mainly to get this outer lip. Alright, now I'm going to run it all the way in, get the inner lip off, then I'll start cutting. Cranking that in. Good to have a face mask on. Alright, I'm all the way in. Now I'm going to loosen these, run these 2,000. Some people do 3. Set it on automatic pass. Let it cut the rotor. Alright, it's cutting. But it's not cutting enough, so I should have started it on 3. Now, if this side cuts good, I'll do 1 thousandths on this side, the next pass, and do 2 thousandths on this side, the next pass. So this side's cutting, this side's really not, barely. So I'm gonna do 2 thousandths on this side, and I'm not gonna move this one at all, just let it sit where it is. Then my final fine cut, I'll do 1 thousandths on each side. Here we are, we're going to check, See if we got at least 23 millimeters. Dun, dun, dun. Man, we're at 25.4. We are good to go. Woo. Let me check the other 3 and we'll keep rolling. So Ibrahim has problems opening his hood like most people do. But he got a blood pressure machine to get it open. He slides that in there, pumps that thing up, then he goes inside and pulls the handle.
Dr. Bliss is back in town.
Good Lord. He's got some leather seats we're going to put in here, get rid of this old busted vinyl. And look at it, the most beautiful shift knob next to the Panthers. Pretty car. So he's going to clean this out so I get these seats out. I'm not going to get the ABS fixed.
Check it out.
It's one to add power, so you need to release these screws in here, T25s, get those knobs off. Then under here, he's already got the power coming out of that harness for the seat. The seat's just not power. So we're going to take these 14s out and move this seat up, get the ones out the back. I already disconnected the battery so I won't trip the airbag when I unplug these seats or the seat belt from the seat. So let me keep working. So I pulled that handle off, pulled that handle off, pulled the trim off, pulled this 50 out of here. Now I got to get these 14s in the back. Then I'll unplug everything up there, power and airbag and heat. When you got the seats out, man, you got to hit the vacuum. There's more food under here. At least we know he doesn't have rats, because they would be eating all these peanuts and chips and stuff. So let me go ahead and finish vacuuming this. When you add power to your seats, you need these fusible links. This location right here is for the driver's seat. This location right here is for the passenger seat. I think this may be for heated seat, I don't know, but you need those too. So just fill up all 4 slots. We're all done with this V70 here. Swapped out the seats, front and back. Front's easy, backs are bare, but we got them done. Did an ABS module, a couple other little petty things, and he's ready to rock and roll. He said next time he sees me, he's got a cargo cover rear that's ready to go in here. Looks like it's already got the holes for it. He just got to slide it in. I don't know. Let me ask him what he's got going on with that. Here we are, folks, back to taking this transmission out. 5:44 p.m. Let's get cracked. Yesterday I took most of the stuff off the top of the transmission, pulled a few bolts off the top, got most of that stuff out of the way. John had that fan mod. I have not drained the coolant. Not sure if I'm going to do that yet or not. We got the CV axle loose. We got the control arms loose. I just need to swing this over and get the CV axle out, but we were in the process of removing these anti-sway bar links. Probably be nicer to take them out the bottom, but I'm going to go ahead and take them out the top. Doesn't matter. I think I'm going to try to take them out the bottom and leave those with the car when I drop the subframe. Here's the subframe. I took the bolts out of the steering rack. I couldn't get this one out. It spun, so I pulled the bolt that goes fore and aft out. I took the sway bar end links loose. Took the mount bolts loose out of the side of the engine. You can see I took the control arms loose, took this one loose, took this mount loose, but left the back mount on because that mount is actually on the steering rack. And then took the 4 corners out, took this charcoal canister off the side, and here we have it, folks. Oh, I took the power steering line brackets loose and the transmission torque mounts loose. And it come on down. So now we can hit the rest of those transmission bolts. I'm going to drain the transmission so it don't tilt and leak fluid everywhere. And I'm also going to take the transmission torque mount off the transmission and get ready to slide that one in place. We got the transmission jack. We're going to jack up there and hopefully lower the engine down and tilt it a little bit, slide that transmission out. Hopefully I won't fight with that. Alright folks, as you can see, the transmission is coming away from the engine. I got the transmission jack strapped around there. I got this side lowered about, can't remember, 15 turns. You can see it, torque arm's lowered down a little bit. I think I need to change that mount if I remember correctly. I don't think I did that, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and see if we can unplug that transmission from the engine. I don't know if that's far enough to do that, but we're going to find out in a minute. And we're out. Time to go with the new and improved transmission. I'm going to swap over the throwout bearing, that kind of stuff, and get this train rolling. I swept most of the dirt, spider webs, and cobwebs out of here. I transferred over that plastic clip that goes on that fork. Put the release bearing over here, and I hit the wire brush around the edge of that. Took off that transmission mount, and I unplugged that wire harness going to that sensor there, since we don't need that because this car is newer than the 95. So I'm gonna bring this thing over here, set it on the transmission jack, and do my best to jack it up in position and slide this thing on there. Slide it in the clutch. The clutch seems to still be aligned pretty much from being unplugged from the other transmission. So, man, look at that thing. It's almost right in the middle. So I'm gonna do what I can, get this thing up and in here. It is now 8:10. If I get this thing up here and start it within an hour, I'll be thrilled. And I slid it in this way past this left wheel assembly plastic thing. I just pushed it through there. When I pulled it out that way, it is 8:29, and that transmission just slid into the clutch. And I got a screw lined up I'm about to put in right here. Once I get that screw in, man, I'm home free. I'm amazed. Let me go ahead and get that screw in before something happens and I sneeze or something. 8:55. I've cranked the engine back up both sides. I had that cranked down about 4 times, this about 20. I got all the bolts around the transmission tight. I am about to start hooking up stuff, but I want to clean around the fill hole and get this ready to fill, and I'm going to drain out whatever's in here, but I'm going to measure what we took out of this transmission. I don't know what John did with that, so I'm going to check with that and measure what we took out so we can put that much back in. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.